At midnight, the old church bell rang loud and clear. That sound made Amina's heart beat fast. It warned of hard truths and a fate she never chose. Amina was a college student with big dreams, yet her life took a sudden turn. Her family had arranged a marriage for her without asking her choice. They believed that marrying early would give her a secure future. Every day, she walked to class with a heavy heart, wondering if her life was meant for more. The promise made by her family was not gentle or kind, it was a duty she had to carry. Amina felt trapped between her own dreams and the expectations of those around her. In a small town, many believed that marriage was the only way to honor family and culture. Even though her friends whispered about the unfairness of the promise, few dared to speak against it. Her future partner, Kofi, was known as a quiet and simple boy in their community. Little did anyone know that behind his plain face, Kofi held secrets of a past that had once shone in public light. Every day, Amina wondered if fate could change. Was there a way to rewrite the promise forced upon her? Amina met Kofi on a warm morning in the town square. Their first meeting was simple. Kofi wore a plain shirt and trousers, and his smile was shy. He did not talk much about himself, leaving an air of mystery. Neighbors watched quietly as the two exchanged small words. Despite the arranged meeting, there was a hint of understanding between them. Amina noticed that Kofi's eyes sometimes held a distant look, as if he remembered happier days. Rumors in the town said he had a past that few knew about. Even though he appeared poor and unassuming, there was something in his manner that made people curious. Kofi had once lived a life that was different from the simple boy everyone now saw. A few old papers found in a dusty drawer hinted at a past filled with music and small stage lights. However, those days were gone. The boy now kept his past locked away. As they walked together that day, Amina felt a spark of hope that behind every false promise, there might be a hidden truth waiting to be discovered. Could this hidden truth lead them to a better life? In the quiet evenings after her classes, Amina began to learn more about Kofi. While sitting on the steps outside her family home, she would watch him as he passed by. There was a calm in his walk, yet his eyes sometimes told stories of lost dreams. Neighbors would chat in hushed tones about the boy's secret past. A few recalled that years ago, a young man with talent had once shined on small stages, captivating audiences with his voice. The stories were mixed with hope and regret, making everyone wonder why a talented boy like him now lived a simple life. Amina's curiosity grew stronger with each day. She started to ask small questions about his past during quiet moments. Kofi would smile slightly and change the subject, leaving her with only half answers. The whispers in the town grew louder, and even her closest friends noticed the spark of mystery in his eyes. In a place where everyone knew each other's business, the truth about Kofi remained hidden. Amina began to wonder if his lost dreams might someday come back to light the dark corners of his life. What secrets did his quiet smile hide? One bright morning, Amina and Kofi went to the town market together. The market was full of life, with vendors calling out the prices of fresh fruits and vegetables. The air smelled of spices and earth after a light rain. Amina listened to Kofi as he gently spoke with the sellers. He had a kind manner that made people smile. Even though he was quiet, his words were sincere and warm. As they walked among the busy stalls, Amina noticed how many people nodded respectfully to Kofi. Some even recalled moments from long ago when he was known to them as more than just a poor boy. The simplicity of the day did not hide the undercurrent of a hidden story. Kofi's brief exchanges with old friends revealed hints of a past filled with music and applause, but he never confirmed the details. Amina's heart filled with both hope and worry. In that busy market, with its familiar sounds and scents, she felt that every person carried a secret part of their history. The day was ordinary, yet it carried the weight of memories. Could a day like this reveal more about the life Kofi had once known? After returning from the market, Amina spent long hours at home thinking about her new life. The small house was filled with simple furniture and memories of the past. Amina often sat near the window, looking out at the world while lost in thought. She recalled the way Kofi had smiled that morning and wondered about the quiet strength behind his eyes. Her room was decorated with pictures and notes from her college days. Each item told a story of hope and dreams. Despite the false promise of marriage, Amina clung to the belief that life could still be gentle. In the soft light of the afternoon, she read old letters from a friend who had once been a singer. These letters hinted at a world where dreams could take flight. The stories were realistic, full of struggle and small victories. Amina's heart was tender as she pieced together the fragments of Kofi's hidden life. Every detail was a clue, but nothing was certain. As the sun set slowly, she wondered if a false promise could turn into a story of rediscovered hope. Could the quiet home hold the answers to her hidden questions? Amina spent many hours in her college study hall, where the air was filled with the sound of turning pages and soft murmurs. It was a calm place where she could escape her worries. Every time she opened a book, she tried to distract herself from the weight of her future. Yet, her mind often drifted to Kofi. During breaks, she would catch whispers among students about a quiet boy who had once been known for his talent. These talks made her think about how life could change in one moment. The study hall was a place of learning, but also a place where secrets were shared in soft voices. Amina found comfort in writing down her thoughts in a small notebook. Her words were simple, honest, and full of curiosity about the hidden past of the boy she was meant to marry. The day went on with classes, laughter, and a touch of worry as thoughts of the future crept in. Each note she wrote was a small step toward understanding what lay ahead. Could the pages of her notebook one day reveal the truth about Kofi's lost dreams? The town held a small festival that brought everyone together. The streets were filled with simple decorations, and people gathered to enjoy local food and music. Amina went to the festival with a mix of hope and anxiety. In the crowd, she noticed Kofi standing quietly, watching the dances and listening to the folk songs. The celebration was not grand, but it was a time for the community to share joy and stories. Kofi's calm presence stood out in the lively crowd. Some people whispered that he once sang on small stages, and his voice had brought joy to many. During the festival, Amina had a chance to talk to a few older people who remembered the good old days. They spoke gently about how people could change, and how sometimes a secret past was hidden behind a quiet life. The simple day was filled with moments of smiles and shared memories. It was a reminder that even in ordinary events, there could be hints of a hidden life waiting to be told. Did this festival mark the start of a new chapter in their lives? Amina decided to visit the college library one rainy afternoon. The library was a quiet space with tall shelves full of old books and newspapers. As she walked along the rows, she came across a small section that held local history. There, tucked between yellowed pages, she found a clipping of a newspaper article. The article mentioned a young man with a bright voice who had once performed at local events. The name Kofi appeared in the faded text. Amina's heart skipped a beat. Could it be the same boy she had met? The article was simple, yet it hinted at a past that was very different from the present. She spent time reading every word, her mind racing with thoughts of what might have been. The library air was calm, filled with soft light and quiet murmurs of other readers. Every word in that old clipping added a new piece to the puzzle. Amina closed the paper slowly, her mind buzzing with questions about Kofi's hidden history. Was this old story the key to understanding his present life? One sunny afternoon, Amina and Kofi sat on a worn bench by the small town park. The park was simple, with a few benches and a big tree that spread its shade over the grass. The air was filled with gentle sounds of children playing and birds chirping. Amina gently asked Kofi about his life before the arranged marriage. Kofi looked away for a moment and then spoke softly. He told her that life had once given him a chance to share his voice with many, though he never went into deep details. His words were simple and honest. He explained that sometimes life takes unexpected turns, and one must learn to accept them. Amina listened carefully, finding comfort in his straightforward tone. The conversation did not have any magic or dark secrets, just a simple exchange of thoughts and hopes. In that moment, the park bench felt like a safe place where truth could be shared. Amina wondered if honest words were enough to bring light to the hidden parts of their past. Could this gentle talk lead them to new understanding? A few days later, Amina's family called for a meeting at their modest home. The room was small and filled with the familiar faces of relatives. They gathered to discuss the upcoming marriage and the future of Amina and Kofi. The conversation was practical and straight to the point. Family members talked about simple plans, like the small wedding and the new home for the couple. Despite the matter being serious, the words used were plain and honest. Amina listened as her parents spoke about the honor of the marriage. They shared memories of old traditions and the belief that the union would bring stability. In that room, no one spoke of dark secrets or regrets. They only talked about duty and hope. Some older relatives mentioned, in quiet tones, that Kofi had once been known by another name, linked to a time when he had a chance to sing for many people. Yet, they did not dwell on it. The meeting ended with plans for the coming weeks and a shared feeling of responsibility. Could the simple truth behind Kofi's past change the way they all saw the future? One warm evening, while Amina was studying at home, she heard soft humming from outside. Curious, she walked to the small porch where she saw Kofi sitting alone. He was humming a tune that sounded familiar yet distant. The song was simple, yet it carried the marks of a once-loved melody. Amina felt a mix of surprise and gentle excitement. In that quiet moment, she realized that the melody might be linked to the old stories she had read. Kofi did not notice her at first, lost in thought as he hummed. His voice was soft and calm, with an undertone of a past filled with simple joys. Amina stepped closer and listened carefully. The tune was not loud, but it held a memory of times when life was different and hope was simple. It was clear that Kofi had a talent that had brought him happiness before his life took another turn. In that brief moment, with the warm evening light and gentle sound, Amina wondered if his hidden talent could bring light to both their lives. Was there a chance for a new start through these simple songs? Amina decided to write a note to Kofi. She sat down at a small wooden desk with a pen in hand and simple paper before her. In plain words, she wrote about her thoughts and feelings. She told him how she felt about their meeting, the market day, and the soft song she had heard that evening. The note was honest and free of complicated words. In her simple writing, she asked if he would share more about his past and his dreams. The note did not carry dark secrets or magic, only a desire to know him better. Later that evening, Kofi read the note by the light of a small lamp. His eyes softened as he read each word. It was clear that Amina wanted to understand him beyond the promise of a forced marriage. Her words were plain and sincere, with a hope for a future built on trust and gentle truth. As Kofi folded the note, he wondered if honesty could open the door to a better life for both of them. Could this simple note be the start of a deeper bond? On a cool morning, Amina and Kofi took a walk along a quiet road that led through the outskirts of town. The path was lined with simple trees and small houses. The fresh air and soft light of the morning made the walk feel calm. As they strolled side by side, they talked about everyday things. Amina asked Kofi about his childhood, and he answered in simple words. He mentioned days spent with friends, small moments of laughter, and the quiet joy of a simple song. There was no magic in his stories, only the truth of everyday life. Amina listened with care, her heart opening to the simple facts of his past. The conversation flowed naturally, without dark secrets or overly heavy topics. It was as if each step they took brought them closer to a shared understanding. The quiet road seemed to invite honest words and soft smiles. With each word spoken, Amina felt the bond between them grow a little stronger. In that gentle morning, a question lingered in her mind. Could everyday moments like this build a future filled with hope? During a bright noon, Amina and Kofi sat down for a simple lunch at a small, local diner. The diner was known for its plain meals and friendly service. They shared a table by the window, where light fell softly on their plates. Over cups of tea and bowls of soup, their conversation was gentle and true. Kofi talked about how life had once offered him small moments of joy, like singing for local events. His words were not full of boast or pride, but were shared with a simple honesty. Amina asked about the little joys that had once made him smile. The talk was free of any magic or dark secrets, only clear memories of a past that was real. Their simple meal was a reminder of how life could be gentle despite hard choices. The diner's warmth and the simple clink of cutlery set a soft rhythm to their exchange. In that moment, both felt that the small joys of the past could light a path to a hopeful future. Was this quiet lunch a sign that honesty could build a better tomorrow? As dusk settled over the town, Amina and Kofi went for another walk, this time along a quiet street lit by old lamps. The gentle light made the familiar road look soft and welcoming. They walked slowly, sharing small thoughts about the day and memories of simpler times. Kofi mentioned the few moments when he had once felt proud of his small talents. He talked about his love for a simple tune and the happiness it had once brought him. Amina listened with care, feeling that every word was a step toward understanding him better. The conversation stayed clear and honest. There were no secrets hidden in shadows, only memories of a life once lived in the open. The soft murmur of their voices blended with the gentle hum of the evening. In that warm light, it was easy to see the possibility of a new start, one built on simple truths and shared moments. Their steps were slow, and every moment felt important. As the night grew quieter, a thought remained in Amina's mind. Could the honest memories they shared guide them to a future full of simple hope? One weekend, Kofi's older cousin visited the town. She was known for her kind words and honest stories. At a small family gathering, she sat with Amina and Kofi in a sunny courtyard. The air was light, and the conversation was simple. The cousin spoke about how people sometimes hide parts of their past for their own safety. In clear, everyday language, she recalled that Kofi had once shown promise as a young singer. Her words were soft and matter-of-fact, with no hint of magic or dark secrets, only the simple truth of life's changes. Amina listened carefully, feeling that each word helped her understand Kofi better. The family visit was warm and filled with gentle laughter. Neighbors joined in with small stories of the past, and the day passed with a simple flow of shared memories. The gathering reminded everyone that life could be filled with surprises, both happy and hard. Kofi's cousin left with a smile, leaving behind a question in the air. Could the truth, when told in simple words, mend old wounds and open new paths for hope? A few days after the family visit, a small misunderstanding arose between Amina and Kofi. It was a simple mix-up over a misplaced item at home. The tension was light, not dark, but it made both of them pause. Later that day, Kofi approached Amina with a quiet apology. His words were plain and sincere. He explained that sometimes small mistakes could cause hurt feelings even when no harm was meant. Amina listened and accepted his apology with a gentle smile. The moment was not filled with dramatic tears or angry words, just a simple wish to keep peace in their daily life. They talked about how easy it was for small issues to grow if not cleared up. The conversation that followed was calm and real. They agreed to listen better and share more of their thoughts with each other. In that moment, Amina realized that even in a life set by duty, honesty could create small bridges between hearts. The simple act of apologizing helped them feel closer. Could these small moments of understanding be the key to a happier future together? Late one evening, as the stars quietly appeared above the town, Amina and Kofi sat on a low wall outside their modest home. They talked about dreams, both those of the past and hopes for the future. Kofi shared how, once, he had a chance to sing in front of a crowd. He described that memory in simple words, recalling how music made him feel free. Amina spoke of her hopes to finish college and help her community. Their talk was honest and free from any dark tones or magic. It was just two people sharing their dreams with gentle care. In that soft night, the stars seemed to listen as they spoke of small joys and clear goals. There was a promise in their words that everyday life, with its ups and downs, might lead to simple success. The moment was not filled with sorrow or harsh secrets, but with the simple truth of dreams and the will to try. As they sat together, the quiet night held a soft challenge. Could these shared dreams be the spark to light a path toward a better tomorrow? The day of the wedding arrived with a soft glow in the sky. In the small town, the ceremony was simple. Neighbors and family gathered in a modest hall decorated with plain cloth and fresh flowers. Amina walked slowly down the aisle, her eyes meeting those of Kofi. His smile was gentle, and though he carried a secret past, he looked entirely like the quiet boy everyone knew. The wedding was filled with honest words and warm greetings. There was no hint of magic or dark events, just the reality of two people joining their lives. Everyone spoke in clear, simple language, celebrating the hope of a new start. The ceremony was short and filled with moments of genuine connection. As they exchanged simple vows, both Amina and Kofi felt the weight of their shared history and the promise of an ordinary, yet hopeful, future. In that warm room, amid kind smiles and supportive words, one question quietly rose. Could the simple truth of a shared promise be enough to overcome the challenges of a life built on unexpected beginnings? After the wedding, life moved forward in small, steady steps. Amina and Kofi settled into a routine that was simple but filled with small acts of care. Each day was marked by the gentle tasks of daily life, studying, working in the fields, and sharing quiet moments together. Their home, though modest, became a place where hope was nurtured through honest conversation and shared dreams. Neighbors saw the couple working side by side, smiling at small successes and learning from little mistakes. Kofi's past was still a quiet part of his story, a reminder of what once was. Yet, in every shared meal and every simple conversation, both Amina and Kofi built a life filled with trust and hope. They moved forward without the burden of dark secrets, guided by the simple truth of their connection. As the days turned into months, the questions about the past slowly merged with plans for the future. With a calm heart and a clear mind, Amina looked at Kofi and wondered aloud. Is it possible that our simple truth can lead us to a better life, even when the past still lingers in quiet whispers? Give us your answer and thoughts in the comments below if you enjoyed the story. Give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay blessed. Amen.